Okay, everyone, before we get into the countdown for the top 10 most disturbing comics in my personal opinion, I highly encourage you guys to go check out my friend Epic Gamer. He gave a shout out to me recently, and I would like to return the favor. For those of you interested in what he does, well, I mean, the title already gives you a hint. He's a gamer, so he's got a lot of gameplay and everything. He doesn't do the same thing I do. I upload more fighting game content. He uploads miscellaneous. It's as simple as that. He also uploads things like for controllers. He'll do reviews and everything, so if you're into that stuff, I highly encourage you to check him out. Or at least give him a shot anyway, you know? Help him out, please. I'd love to see his channel grow. Now, before we get into my 10th pick, I did not include things from Vertigo Comics because, well, just about every Vertigo comic is dark and disturbing, so, yeah. I mean, Watchmen, V for Vendetta, Sandman, there's a bunch to name, honestly. And, while those may not particularly be disturbing, I just didn't want to put Vertigo in. I wanted to, stay original. And so, starting us off at number 10 is Avengers Rage of Ultron. No, this is not like the movie Age of Ultron. No. This is an entirely different beast to tackle, you know? Not something for the faint of heart. I mean, if it has Ultron in it, could you really expect it to be all that nice? I mean, he's a genocidal robot. So how does this story pan out? I would highly encourage you guys to go check this graphic novel out for yourselves, but, Ultron being my second favorite villain of all time, I had to put him on here. I'm sorry. I just had to. And since he isn't really considered a disturbing villain by many, I feel like they underestimate him far too much. So, to not spoil too much of the story, well, the Avengers must once again fight Ultron, although they aren't exactly the same Avengers that he was used to fighting before. Like, from what I can recall, there are newer members, like Beast and everything like that. And Ultron has programmed himself and upgraded himself to be able to infect even organic beings. And it isn't very pretty. I mean, seriously, check this out. He infects my man Spider-Man. Like, no! And everyone just starts acting really eerie. He does get stopped, though. I'm not going to lie there. The Avengers do put a stop to him. And of course, there's the father and son issues between Ultron and Vision, and Ultron and Hank Pym. However, it really isn't the Avengers who save the world. No, it's really just Hank Pym, because the Avengers were too busy getting infected and acting as rage-filled minions of Ultron's army. You know, causing mass genocide and shit like that, so fun. Anyways, so how does this end? Well, I don't want to spoil too much, but two minds are trapped in one body. They're both caged, they're both severely unhappy and severely angry, and this troubles both characters till the end. Wait, not till the end. What the heck is wrong with me? No, this lasts for several issues. This event, it ends, and Ultron's reign of terror ends, after so many people have been slaughtered, like cattle, and he has merged with Hank Pym. And they're both fighting for superiority over their one body. It's really not all that nice. So yeah, that's about all I have to say for this. I don't want to spoil too much. I highly suggest you guys go give it a read. Oh no. Yes, I had to do it. A lot of you probably already know what I'm saying. What I'm referring to just by looking at this image. I'm sorry, but I had to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Sins past is a crime against humanity. I mean, look at it. It even has sins in the name. How do you... How do you support something like this? Marvel, why? I'm scared. Dear Lord. So, as if Norman Osborn couldn't be even more of a fucked up douchebag than he already is, we got this story. So, we have him chucking Gwen Stacy off, and then her demise, which is still debated over till this very day. Who killed her? Was it Green Goblin or Spider-Man? And then the Amazing Spider-Man 2 decided to take after that, but instead of it being Norman Osborn, it was Harry Osborn. Seriously, people, do your research. Anyways, when we get the backstory, a lot of people hate it. It's understandable. So, either way you look at it, it isn't very pleasant, is it? So, if this sex was consensual, Gwen Stacy cheated on Peter Parker. If it wasn't consensual, well, Green Goblin just raped Peter Parker's girlfriend and then killed her. You know, after having 2 kids with her. And basically kidnapping them and turning them into little goblins. Fun, folks. Anyways, so yeah, Green Goblin, you son of a bitch. I like you, but I hate you at the same time. What is it with him? And ruining Spider-Man's life. Like, look, I prefer Carnage over Green Goblin, but Carnage, he's more of a villain who just wants to fuck up everyone and everything. He wants to ruin everybody's lives. Green Goblin takes all of his time and all of his money, all of his attention span, and puts it on Spider-Man and concentrates it all on ruining his life. He puts so much time and effort into fucking up Spider-Man that it's ridiculous. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Okay, moving on. I'm sure everyone remembers this game, right, ladies and gentlemen? This series has probably got to be my favorite DC game series. And for good reason. A lot of people can support me on that one. Because of its rather dark storytelling. Look at that. Isn't it just a beauty? Good old Superman high five. You know, I feel like his grin should be wider. Yeah. Well, I mean, we really gonna have a douchebag contest. Who's the bigger asshole? Is it Green Goblin? Is it Joker? Or is it Carnage? Because... wow. Anyways. So, in this alternate reality, in this very perverse reality, Joker decides to be the biggest asshole ever. What does he do? Well, he, poisons Superman, as if that wasn't enough. Oh, and believe me, it wasn't. He needed to get Superman to destroy all of Metropolis with said poison, or toxin, whatever. Great, now I'm naming like symbiote lore. And what happens? Oh yes, that's right. Not only does he destroy all of Metropolis, he eventually hallucinates Lois Lane is Doomsday. He starts thinking that she's Doomsday. So what does he do? Just grabs her and flies her out into space. Yeah. Oh, and did I mention that they had a child on the way? So understandably pretty pissed the fuck off, Superman came down once he, got himself back together and killed the Joker. And then Superman decides to become one of the biggest douchebags in his place. hooray. So what does he do? Well, he kills Billy Batson, aka Shazam. Yeah, he kills a kid, and it isn't very, kid-friendly. He literally just uses his heat vision and, blasts through the kid's skull by heating his eyeballs and then, just going out of the other side. Yay. Just because he was questioning whether what Superman was doing was right or not. And then, he snaps Lex Luthor's neck. Shazam, you're a fucking idiot. If you would have let Lex Luthor do his job, you would have saved yourself. You would have still been alive. But no, you just had to shock him. That's why it wasn't really much of a shocker when I saw you die. Yeah, so, needless to say, Superman has his reasons for being angry, but then to become a tyrannical dictator, I don't think so. And I mean, seriously, who hasn't heard of injustice at this point? So, I'm gonna try to move on from here. Yet another iconic DC storyline. Perfect for Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. Probably my favorite Green Lantern story of all time, to be honest. The blackest night falls from the skies, the darkness grows as all light dies. We crave your hearts and your demise. By my black hand the dead shall rise. Sorry, I just had to do it. With blood and rage of crimson red, ripped from a corpse so freshly dead, together with our hellish hate, we'll burn you all, that is your fate. Okay. Sorry, I just had to. I memorized the oaths of the Red Lantern Corps and the Black Lantern Corps. And green and yellow. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, this is a pretty popular story. I mean, it was written by the legendary Geoff Johns. And this is basically a Walking Dead-esque thing, so I guess it counts, right? So I guess Walking Dead did somehow make it onto here. Anyways, yeah. So you have this guy known as the Black Hand being a nice necromancer and, making love to our superhero corpses. Hip hip hooray. And yeah, so he works for Necrom and everything. He's all resurrecting the dead, blah 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 blah. And he says his chant, and basically all hell breaks loose because as long as you've died, even if you're still alive, you'll become part of the Black Lantern Corps' army. You'll become part of Death's army. That's pretty cool, right? Except you'll be forced to kill your loved ones if they have not died with you, so there you go. Of course, they get toppled over and, the White Lantern Corps happens, but yeah, it was excellent, and what else is there for me to say, to be honest? It's perfect for Halloween. Let's be honest. Oh, I'm pretty sure all Spider-Man fans remember this one, am I right? Kraven's Last Hunt. Oddly enough, I've never actually read this story. Yet I know practically everything there is to know about it because it's just so iconic as one of the darkest Spider-Man stories of all time. Some call it edgy. Alright, fine. Yeah, then they turn around and enjoy Batman stories. Interesting. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know what Kraven's Last Hunt is about, our beloved Spider-Man has been killed by the infamous Kraven the Hunter. Or at least he thinks so. So what the heck does he decide to do, ladies and gentlemen? Simple. He dresses up as Spider-Man. For kicks and giggles. And because he has nothing better to do with his life, so he dresses up as Spider-Man and dispatches of all other criminals within New York. Not so bad, right? Yeah, except he tries to commit suicide afterwards because he feels his life's work is done, and that now he's living a pointless life. Or at least that's what I heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you've got his family, and then they're all trying to do crazy shit as well, and then Spider-Man tears off Kraven's wife's face and with his bare hands, and then Kraven makes his own kids hunt each other for his amusement because he gets resurrected or something like that. You know what? Let's just leave it at that. Yeah. Now, does everyone remember One More Day? Yeah, I had to. I'm sorry. I did. Now, what about One More Day? All jokes aside from, Spider-Man and Mary Jane having their marriage ruined for the sake of Aunt May. Nice. Let's move on. No, but in all seriousness, let's keep going. So let's revisit those tragic pasts, ladies and gentlemen. Yay. So, what could have possibly gone wrong, Spider-Man had it good, the webhead had it good. He's getting married to the love of his life. She isn't getting thrown off of a skyscraper, or she isn't getting thrown off over a bridge thanks to, a certain goblin. Everything's good, life's good, right? But then Aunt May had to come in. Or dare I say Mephisto. Why? I love Mephisto, he's one of my favorite characters, and then he's used for this. Perfect. Mephistopheles. The guy who's probably one of the closest characters in all of Marvel to resembling Satan himself. Wants a wedding. He wants Spider-Man's marriage. Why does he want someone's marriage? I don't know. The writers never elaborate on it. Why? In exchange for your marriage, I'll give you back your precious Aunt May. And Peter, he just does it. And Mary Jane, she doesn't really have a problem with it either. She has a problem whenever Spider-Man goes out and risks his life for other people, I understand that, but for your own marriage, he's risking your marriage for someone who doesn't even have long to live in the first place. No offense, Aunt May. I mean, you became a herald for Galactus, for crying out loud. You have no reason to complain. I mean, although to be fair, Deadpool did too. But what has Deadpool not done, let's be honest? Mephisto. What the fuck? Okay, I'm not gonna say more. Image Comics. We all know them, right? They're like the third fiddle. But then, when you remember who the trademark character is of said third fiddle, you realize just how badass they can be. Spawn. Some may consider him an edgy character or whatever. I personally like him. He's cool to me. Seriously, a fusion between Ghost Rider and Venom, who's not gonna love that? But then, you realize Marvel did something similar. They did it so much better. Nightwatch. Totally not a blatant ripoff of Spawn in any way, shape, or form. His design totally did not rip him off. He totally doesn't have a living suit like Spawn has. He totally doesn't have the same color scheme that Spawn has. Okay, sorry, I'm losing myself with each passing entry. Okay, so Wanted. Not exactly your happiest comic. Wait, I hope I'm not getting this mixed up with another Wanted storyline. Well, correct me in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe this is where supervillains take over. What do I mean by that? I mean, the supervillains actually win. They kill the heroes. And they actually win. So what happens, you ask? Let's see. Well, there's no heroes to stop the crime, so crime's just running rampant. Yeah, I mean, what else do you want me to say? Crime is running rampant. And there's no one there to stop him. I'll let you do the math. Anyways, to elaborate even more on this, I haven't actually read the comic. I've heard of it. I really want to read it. I can't find it, but I really want to read it. But yeah, it's about villains taking over. They're even turning on each other. They're killing each other and stuff like that. So it's just a bunch of madness. It's just a bunch of carnage. Woody Harrelson's popping into my head. Oh no. Anyways, yeah. So that's about it. I don't want to talk too much because of a certain other entry that you're going to be seeing very soon. Remember Logan, ladies and gentlemen? That's one of my favorite superhero movies to date. No, it isn't just because of the violence. I mean, okay, it kind of is. But, yeah, it stars one of my favorite characters of all time, Wolverine. And yeah, and to think that it actually got some things from Old Man Logan in here, except for the Venom dinosaur that chases him and Hawkeye and tries to eat them. Venom Devil dinosaur. Really cool. Speaking of which, I'm probably gonna have to work on that, guys. Somehow, pretty soon, because someone requested it. Anyways. So what is the main basis of this? Well, the same thing like Wanted, except I'm a lot more knowledgeable on this one. And it's a lot more heartbreaking, dare you say. I'm not very emotional, so don't expect to get a rise out of me. Anyways, so what happens? Red Skull leads an army of supervillains, and they actually work together successfully and overthrow the heroes. And I don't mean they overthrew them. I mean they killed them. And what happened? Well, Red Skull kept a trophy of each of them. Especially Captain America's shield, because, he's his arch nemesis, why not? And, yeah, they win. It's not very nice. And so you see Logan and his old buddy Hawkeye walking around, seeing a lot of their good friends murdered. Characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, they see their corpses because they were the ones trying to hide from the supervillain rampage, and so the supervillains didn't actually kill them. Rather, the heroes just starved to death trying to survive. It's pretty fucking dark. And, yeah, as if this couldn't get any more depressing for Logan, he then realizes the Hulk. The fucking Hulk ate his family. 'Cause why not? Out of all the heroes that had to survive, it had to be a cannibalistic Hulk. Oh yeah, that wasn't enough. No. Once Logan figured this out, he figured out that Hulk had a family. So what did he do? He returned the favor. He slaughtered Hulk's family. So what did Hulk do? Get pissed off as usual. And he tried eating Old Man Logan. So what did Old Man Logan do? He clawed his way out of the Hulk, killing him. This is a very, very brutal comic series. Really recommend that you all read it, though. Especially if you're into Wolverine and post-apocalyptic scenarios. Really dark. Really nice. And, it really just shows how much of a curse Wolverine's powers are to him. It reveals his biggest fear. The fact that he may outlive everyone he knows and loves because of his regeneration. He begins to realize that he just starts eating him from the inside out, and you begin to see it. I'm not going to say too much, but it really isn't pleasant, because there are very few heroes alive, and the few that are just scarred by what has happened. And the supervillains all have sections that they basically rule, and so the remaining superheroes have to make sure that they don't get engulfed by those villains and don't get murdered. Pretty sick stuff. Look, I know I said no vertigo and stuff like that, but I had to. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you with Crossed. So what is the whole premise? Well, there's no superheroes, there's no supervillains, really. It's kind of like The Walking Dead in the sense where the remaining people have to survive, but instead of having dead zombies try and claw your eyes out, you have a virus that when it infects a person, the infected person looks like they have a cross on his or her face. As if that wasn't enough, what does it make them do, you might ask? It makes them act upon their most evil and sadistic desires ever. They literally act upon the darkest thoughts they can think of, and they try to make those a reality. So basically, think of the sickest possible thing in your mind. Just think about that. Now try to make it a reality. How about you end up doing all of those sick things, and you enjoy it? Now what if I told you that's what this world was infected by? A virus that made people act out their worst thoughts. Pretty nightmarish, isn't it? Yep. So I know what you're thinking. Any examples of violence? Anything, very gory? Why, yes, I do. Have quite a bit to show you, just in case you weren't convinced that this deserved a spot on my list. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the villains here known as Horsecock. I kid you not, that is his actual name. This is probably the most lighthearted we're gonna get. He beats people to death with a horse's dick. I kid you not, he beats people to death with a horse's dick. Moving on. We've got one of the main characters, Harold Lore. Now, he comes across Darwin, cuts his face off, wears it as a mask, all while sexually assaulting his girlfriend. Yay! Yeah, this comic is really fucked up. You wanna know what makes this even worse? Harold isn't even infected by the Crossed. He is a normal guy. Or at least he should be. Oddly enough, this gives him even more pleasure, knowing that he's not as infected, but knowing that he could still be just as depraved, if not more so, than some of the Crossed. He must have really hated Darwin. Ouch. Well, Gumball might want to keep his fish away from him, just saying. This guy really doesn't like him. Or Charles Darwin, for that matter. Any Darwin. Or how about this? No. What is going on? There's a character named Joseph Pratt. And he needs to make sure that humanity survives during the outbreak. So what does he do? He repopulates. How? he rapes his own daughters to ensure the survival of humanity. Yeah, that's right, you heard me, daughters. Not a daughter, no, he has multiple, and he does it to each and every single one of them. He isn't even one of the crossed. And if that wasn't enough, there's also people who live-action role-play. Believe me, they're not me, alright? No, they take this to a whole new level. They call themselves the livers, and they start dancing, carving out people's organs, you know, the good stuff. Yep. Boy, isn't this just fun to talk about. We've got a guy beating people to death with a horse's dick. We've got a guy raping his daughters to ensure the survival of humanity. We've got a freaking psychopath who isn't even crossed, much like the guy who raped his own daughters, but comes across a guy named Darwin, cuts off his face because he hates him, and then rapes his girlfriend. Yay, what could possibly get worse? Oh, I'm glad you asked that. So you might be thinking, what the fuck is this? He is apparently lung-fucking a dolphin. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But apparently, he is shoving his cock through that dolphin's blowhole while stabbing it ferociously. And yes, he is one of the crossed. Oh yeah, and he's singing for his mama, because, you know, why not? What the hell? What the fuck? This is the world of crossed, everyone. Post-apocalyptic world. Yeah, Walking Dead looks tame in comparison. A lot of comics do, to be honest. And what the heck makes it to our #1 spot? Ladies and gentlemen, I present you with, that's right, Carnage Mind Bomb. But wait, there's a tie. I mean, I can include Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life, Maximum Carnage with the city descend into madness, countless people are raped, pillaged, slaughtered, babies are thrown off of buildings, there are riots, and then Carnage Mind Bomb and Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life just shows you how depraved and fucked up Carnage really is. Seriously, what the fuck is this? However, ladies and gentlemen, I could very well put any Carnage comic on here and go into a huge amount of depth and detail over why I feel it is depraved, dark, and disturbing. You know how he loves to talk about peeling the skin off of his victims while hearing them plead for mercy. You know how he just knows 9 million different ways to kill a body. And how he loves every single one of them. You know how his mind is so messed up that he can literally make someone become a naked cannibal who worships chaos. Yay! But here's the thing. Carnage's stories aren't the only one at #1. Nope, I've got someone else. An entire beast that not many people know about. Ladies and gentlemen, tied with every Carnage comic I can think of is Clarissa. Now you all might be thinking, well, what do you mean? It looks so kid-friendly. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at the bunny. Look at the girl, the little girl. She's just really, really pissed. Yeah, you may think she's a little old grump, but she has a reason to be angry. Ay. So, her little bunny comes to life. He's all talking to her and everything. Everything's all nice. But then something happens. So what happens, you might all be wondering? Well, you see, Clarissa, her family, they're all doing well, you know. Her brothers are getting good grades, they're really successful, they're handsome, they're charming and everything. Her mom and dad have such a nice job. And yeah, they're just amazing. Or so it would seem. You see, her family wants to act normal. They want to come off as normal. Right? They don't want to be seen as strange or weird by society. They want to be accepted. And, well, I think that's understandable. I think people can understand that. Clarissa doesn't give a fuck. Why? Well, I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to have to in order to reason with you all as to why this took the top spot. In case you didn't get it, her father rapes her every night. That's why she's grumpy. What makes this even evil, what makes this even more despicable, is that her family knows. Everyone else knows that he does it. And the thing is, it's not that they don't care. It's that they're so desperate trying to act normal that they pretend as if it never even happened. And so she's the only one who lets it get to her. Everyone tells her to move on. Forget it, it's normal. She's a 6-year-old little girl. There's even a comic where they're having a nice Thanksgiving dinner. And I believe the mom asks her, "So, how'd your day go, sweetie?" And she's like, "I'm not gonna pretend that Dad didn't just fuck me." And then everyone just goes silent, acts like nothing else is happening. However, they know that it's still bothering her. What makes this really despicable is how realistic it is. There are people out there who do this. There are people who have actually lived through this. And they've kept their mouths shut because they didn't want to be shunned by society. It's a horrific act, yet it's a truthful thing that happens. Whereas Carnage embodies all the chaos in the world, all the evil, all the sickness, all the depravity, all the insanity. We get to see the victims of this evil, of this chaos. We get to see the evil of humanity portrayed right here. In a seemingly innocent comic. Then again, I merely perceive innocence as an illusion. Because deep down, Carnage is right actually. We all have our crazy little desires. We've all got some anger in us, and sometimes you may snap. Maybe not to the degree that he did. But yeah. And you mean, let's admit it. We like horror, right? We like some of the dark stuff. However, there are people out there who actually want to commit these things. These unspeakable crimes. And this portrays the reality of it. All the victims of the evil in the world. And those who keep their mouths shut. And the consequences for keeping your mouth shut. This didn't happen to one person. This happened to a lot of people. And that's something that I can get. I can get why the writer did this. I can get why this was made. It was made to raise awareness and to not be silent about your own problems for the sake of being normal. And does it without any blood, without any gore. It just portrays the realism of it all in a seemingly funny cartoon. Little comic. Look, I know I missed the killing joke, but everyone knows that. We all know what the Joker did. Look, I may have missed the part where heck the Joker had Dollmaker cut off his face. He had Dollmaker cut off the Joker's face and had Joker wear it like a mask. Fine. See, the Joker's so popular, though, that a lot of people know that stuff. A lot of people do. I don't know, but I just wanted to do this. I felt like making a list, because why not? I know I might not have elaborated on other picks of mine, but if you wish for me to elaborate on why I chose the ones that I did, just leave them in the comments below. I'm perfectly fine with answering them there. Okay? Yeah, that's about all I have for now. Bye.